Janam or Lovepreet that have been directed towards long on. They're playing against the line, trying to play with the spin. It's always that mostly the batters, when they're playing the finger spin, they want to use that angle, not to go against the spin, but along the spin. So long on can be at the boundary. Punched off the back foot to the extra cover fielder. Coming back for the second one. Running's improved. Running between the wickets have definitely improved, and that coordination looks between the batters now. Abhishek has been one reckoning force, standing, holding the doors, holding the guard for United Farmers. He is reaping, trying to reap the fruit for United Farmers here. If Jammu 11 want to have a comeback, they need to stop somehow the gameplay what Abhishek is planning, because I've seen him accelerate. There are certain ways, there are certain areas Abhishek is targeting, especially over deep mid wicket when he's trying to flex, take the length, push back, use his crease, and then pull it over for 6 runs. That has been the area for Abhishek to score mostly, and when he's hitting through along the carpet, through the covers, has been on ground. So that should be something to be taken in consideration. And by far, Abhishek has been a standout player for me to look out for in this innings till now. And Lovepreet with one breakthrough after being hit for 6, he's brought into the attack. He's getting turn. He's indeed getting some turn from the track. There's some help. The way he's made quick adjustment to understand what the batter is doing, because the batter was already premeditated. Wicket for Tejinder. Brings him down the track. Way too full. Gets the second one. Close call. A direct hit would have kept him running towards his pavilion. There was an opportunity for the third one as well. Very well flighted. This is good sign. Ones and twos. Yes, it is building the partnership. It shouldn't hurt Jammu 11, because if you see the batter coming down the track, now it's upon the bowler again to understand that the batter's coming down. If he's picking the bait, now change the direction. Maybe use the same flight. Try bowling a little wider. Again, you see him coming down the track. That means he's already fallen to the trap. So now it's upon you to see how you can vary your length, your line. This is brilliant. Maybe unconsciously Lovepreet is not understanding that the batter is following the lead what he's giving to the batter. Abhishek on one side has been very good, very understanding, assessing what decisions to make. On the other hand, Jatinder is coming down the track, and it's an advantage for Lovepreet. There you go. Takes on a Skyer, using his length, using his nimble feet to the best of his ability. You can see what a shot that was. Quick feet, was too straight. Couldn't do much about it. and 6 runs. Have been more sixes than boundaries. United Farmers boys have got some power to show. Timing has been a significant factor in Abhishek's batting. You don't see him overhit the ball, just playing exactly in the line of the ball. Nothing too fancy, but what's exactly needed. Nothing too less, nothing too more. That is good from Janam, but a heave onto deep mid wicket. They've got a fielder in place, but two fielders, one deep mid wicket and a square leg, a long on, a long off, and extra covers. You want to show the batter, you'd want to show the ball to the batter, bring him onto the front foot, and then give that wide line that he bowled to the wicketkeeper's pouch. Going down the track, fielders converging. Is there a chance? Over the head, one bounce. His overrun. Rakshit will see the ball sail over his head with one bounce for 4. Nothing's more gutting to see a fielder running over, seeing the ball bounce for one bounce and then go for 4 runs. On again. That's a big one. That's a big one. 2 rows back off the boundary rope. Will get a 6. Got into position early, read it well. Knew where he was hitting in the slot. Bang. Fielding has been pretty ordinary, except for the wicket keeper. There were 2 chances that are put down till now. Pen game ends the over. Been a good overall hitting for Jammu 11. They've been taking the hammering from good hitters from United Farmers. At one point, 25 for 3. I thought that it's going to unsettle the mindset of United Farmers batters, but the captain already told that they were looking to score at 160, having 7 batters and 4 all-rounders in squad. Good ploy, I would say, for the captain from United Farmers, who's deep, who's already departed. The pads leading edge, straight to the fielder. Self-aware. Self-awareness is very important to know that where you're hitting, what you want to do, and the rotation of your boundaries, of your strikes, to play on the merit of the game. If you would have seen Abhishek rotate his strike, I highly rate this batter. Highly rate this batter because when he walked in, I haven't seen any ugly shot coming off his bat. There might have been a couple of shots that is played off his edge, but with an intention to hit only. But everything what is done from one side has been calculative. And if you are very calculative about your views and you know where to go, it's Mehfil Media. Thank you to one of our sponsors, Chahal Concrete and Renovations. If you want to get stronger, and Truck Loan Experts for scoring runs. If you need some lifeline with the financials, you know where to go with Truck Loan Experts. Straight to the fielder, can be quick on the ball. Very sluggish from Indrajit. That initiative is required, that proactive approach, because the batter is halfway down crease and you want to put the pressure. The game is more about pressure here. If you're going to meddle around with a batter's nerves, if you're going to put right pressure, they're going to make some mistake. If not, if you're letting the batter play in his comfort zone, if he's feeling like his home, then I doubt there's any chance for any error. Good running between the wickets, and he scampered back quickly. Just cut that away in the gap. Will be some running for the fielder to cut runs out. Football skills from Tejinder has worked well to stop 2 runs, but the batter gets 3. In fact, it was 1 run which was stopped. Haven't had my dose of caffeine. Need something to awake me, or some big shots from Abhishek, in fact. That'll get my energy up, because at one time seeing Rakshit bowl and taking the wickets, I was super excited. Slowly, United Farmers are pulling the match in their favor. One time with the starting, it was sliding towards United Farmer. It's been a whole roll. Then for Jammu 11, and now again they are in possession of the game, with thanks to the courtesy of Abhishek standing on one side. Not to take away the limelight from the other batters, but it is important that one of your batters is still there on crease and he knows what he's doing to support the others from the other side. Expecting some rain here, not especially when you've got cracking, exciting games to watch. Gives him width, gives him way fading with. He pulls across for 4 runs. The ball was way going down the leg stump. There was fielder in position, but his speed, his timing, that has worked in favor for him. Away for one. I'm highly rating this batter because the boundaries have come from his bat and he's rotating the strike well. And you've got a batter on this class. Why do you not rate them then? Magnificent innings from Abhishek that he's carving out for the very first game for United Farmers. The approach can be a little aggressive because Tejinder is on the boundary. He can be inside the circle to know exactly what's happening with the fielders because it's important to keep an eye on your fielders from inside the circle. As a captain, it's hard to monitor your troops from away. That's a full toss. That's a gift. That's a gift. That's gone. That's no way. The pace from Rakshit has done the job. He just had to sweetly time. He's playing amorously. No harsh shot. When I'm saying that the game of timing, just stand and deliver. He's not trying to overhit. That has been the flamboyance from the batter. Just played that, running into the grab, thrashed it, crashing for 4 more runs, runs leaking, putting Jammu 11 in pressure. At one time, Rakshit was annihilating the batters, but now Abhishek is on the groove. Play some music. He's making the bowlers and the fielders dance to his tune. What a game. What a game Abhishek is having. What an outing for United Farmers. This is a learning for any other teams or anyone who's watching, and especially for me to understand as well, that like I mentioned a point earlier, that teams get very comfortable after taking wickets, and that one wicket hasn't really helped from Tejinder as well. Abhishek has kept the momentum going. He's anchored the ship from one side. He's spoken constantly to the other batters from one side, and he has been a masterclass. To the pouch. Now, how crucial does it become for the live viewers who are watching? I know you guys have got immense knowledge as well. So if you guys want to take a dig into the question and answer this, that how important is it? How is it that when two batters are batting for a partnership, that you guys talk to each other, have that coordination? A wild swing away from the stumps. Because as a cricketer, things work in partnership, in tandem for even if it's bowling, fielding, even if it's your work professionally. Life is all about the partnerships that you create. The off tracker, good speed, wide, some exercise for the umpire. The ball just sails over the head of the fielder, just like a bystander. At one time, everything was going in favor, but now just the hands to show to the captain to say that I got it in place, but the batters are taking the edge away and running. Skewed up, cries for catches, and the keeper, no way he's going to drop that one. Everyone is coming and going, but just like our sponsor, Concrete and Services, Abhishek on one side is sticking on the crease. No way Gurvinder was going to drop that. He's having a good outing in perspective, in respect of keeping. Home staging decor, thanks to our sponsor. And when we talk about staging, rightfully orchestrating and staging the partnership and the innings for United Farmers. They need some expertise. Now the expertise, thanks to Sedullah Chambers, they need the brain like the expert who have been in the law firm. As a proud sponsor, they need some guidance. If you need some, you know where to go. That takes off the edge, most probably running to the fence where the fielder be able to cut it out. What an energetic effort. Saved two at least. As a bye. It will come down to every single run, every ounce. So the fielding team will have to be well aware of what they're doing. Skews up, third man in place and taken. What a catch from Taran. Running catch, not easy. He got into position. He was kept busy. A previous ball he had to save. Now leading edge, he opened, deliberately played. Running catch, settled him. And a catch taken. Soft dismissal. Into the block hole. Now, talking about partnership and anchoring innings from one side, that has been single-handed effort. You guys are well aware of the batter who I'm talking about. Deep, captain comes to the crease, flicked off his pads. Now, when I say that the batters have been coming in and out just to assess the pitch, it is the responsibility of a new batter to understand that they're new to the crease and if and only if the ball is in their slot, to take an aggressive approach. But if not, the aggressor's role can be played by Abhishek because he's been spending most of his time on the crease for this innings. And then the other batter from the other end can understand what exactly or how exactly the ball's coming onto the bat. Soft dismissal again. This is what I've been telling. Loose shot No real body movement, no real foot movement. Was just a swing to give catch to the fielding team. Where you can see on the replay, moves across, playing it against the line and straight to the short third man. Let Abhishek take the responsibility and from one side save your wickets. Now, how the batter who's already set is going to express and liberally play in the last few overs? When you have no wickets in hand, how is the batter going to express? Having in the back of his mind that pressure that there are no more wickets, there's no one to push the total where they're looking at. We'll have to bowl that one again. Signal from the umpire, wide. The car is a manual car as well. You are the OG. You just need a glasses like, hey, get hey, get hey, get hey. Over the head of the point fielder. Will chase it down for 4 runs, but will fail. It's timing. And just putting his bat in time to get 4 runs. Humid and sticky weather. Lucky to end the over, either the batter or the bowler. That's you to decide. You can keep the suspense. The over ends. Those are the sights from the other cricket field. The fielder definitely in the La La Land. Nothing can be saved from the camera work. Exceptional service. Making it happen. Deep Sandhu, Jeet Gill are proud sponsors. With the sponsors, a proud hit as well. May get a little busy here as we get into the day's play. Half tracker, pace has beaten him. Surprised to see that the batter has to ask a question to the umpire to give it as a 1 bounce. Probably a double or a dark roast for the umpire. Just kidding. Changed his pace. Was ready for a quicker one. You'll have to do it as much as you can, changing your pace. If you're sticking with one line, then change your pace. Because you could see with that shot that it was ready and he got triggered. That trigger movement from Abhishek's body can show you that he was expecting the ball to come much quicker. There you see. A wide ball from the umpire was way above his head. Onto the stumps. Picks the gap. Comes on for 2 runs. Scampers easily. Going down the leg. We've got a fine leg in position. His head down the ground. Goes back for the second one, but he's been run out. He's tired, you can feel that. And that's the end of batting lineup, I presume, with the scoring technical difficulty. We apologize. We are working upon getting the scorecard fixed. And what an innings. Take a bow to Abhishek. He's been running, he's been scoring, he's been all over the place. Take a bow. One lone warrior standing for United Farmers. What an innings Abhishek has played. Game one to remember. Quick synopsis of innings one. They've lost 3 wickets in power play. They've hit 3 sixes, 2 boundaries so far with 22 runs with no wicket loss, 25 runs. They were at 3 wicket losses. And then this man comes out, Abhishek, onto the crease and shows his masterclass, showing what he's capable of, his skills, his adroitness, his dexterity. He shows the gameplay and takes on from Jammu 11. One time the team was looking to solidify their chances and they were scattered and disseminated all over the place, having a target to score. We've got an exciting second innings coming up. Stay tuned for the second innings for the Index Cup Season 2. Welcome back to innings number 2, where Jammu 11 are chasing 153, slightly above the anticipation of the captain of Jammu 11, who would have thought to restrict them under 120 or 120. At least 120, but they've scored above 150, closer to the prediction of the captain of United Farmers that he had expected their team to score close to 160 runs. He would be happy with the batting display, but they've lost their 10 wickets in 15 overs. Having those 5 overs, is that going to give them a hefty blow? Having 5 overs, there was opportunity. If they wouldn't have lost the wickets too early, Captain Deep with ball in hand has got shot mid-wicket. 2 players and power play to be outside the circle, the 30-yard circle, and has got a long on outside the circle and a deep square leg. That's a gorgeous looking shot over the head of the infield. He has chipped that away for 4 runs. Superbly timed. 6 overs are going to be important. You can see that. Very well played. Ravinder, the new bowler, with 1-4 full toss, is flicked across. Got protection. The power play is going to be important to set the tempo and the tone for the game. Now that they've scored 150, they have something to save, especially I haven't seen much teams crossing the mark of 150, but anything over 150 is slightly a struggle for the chasing teams because the grounds are bigger. The outfield at times is slow, but here it is relatively quicker to the other parts and other grounds. Runs taken off from the ball played from his pads. Played with soft hands. This is the season 2 for Index Cup, where 16 teams are participating. to emerge victorious for the big bounty of $75,000. What a cry for the teams that have missed to enroll themselves. What a game. I can just envision going down, appeal, the bowler's excited, Ravinder, the keeper, there's no excitement, but a little late. Something on it, definitely. Let's take a look at the replay. Going down the leg, it felt like it was the ball brushed upon his pads. The fielder from the slip coming in, but very late from the wicketkeeper. Goes down again, he'll have to bowl that one. Cries, he's not believing, he's in disarray. Reminds me of Shakib Al Hasan throwing his stumps in Bangladesh Premier League. Ravinder could not believe his eyes, but the decision from the umpire, was it bat something? If there's no bat involved, has to be a plum. Drill that one. We'll come back for the second one. We'll have to scamper. Yes, he has. That ends the over. Collect one. Tries to make room for himself. Has smoked that one, but hasn't got timing on it. Got some Dhoni style from Deep, the wicket keeper. And the block hole. We'll have to wait to get off the strike. Full toss is hit straight to the fielder and a fumble. resulting in 4 runs. He's not happy. Hands on head will not help. And that will release some pressure of the batting team. They were struggling to find a boundary. And Abhishek has helped the fielding team in good spirits. That's a magnificent shot. Made room for himself and played it on the rise. That is a shot to look out for. Excellent. Ravinder back into the attack. So start is over. He'll have to bowl another delivery because that is a wide. It's taken over the head of the infield. We'll have to chase that along. This is the time. You can see they're taking the aerial route. Did not get hold of it. Was very lucky after playing it from the bottom part of the bat. Over the head of the bowler, there's a fielder in place who'll give the protection. We'll get only one. Ah, nicely sliced. Nicely sliced. He did not move too much, just threw his bat onto the shot. What a shot that is. He's using the pace. Made room for himself. He knew where the fielders were. This has to do a lot with containing yourself and knowing when to express to consolidate 122 runs. You've already got a wide 2 runs, 4 runs, and 1 run. That means already 8 on board. Then with a dot, how about you just push it for a single and then you get the maximum out of the over? That means with the boundary, you've already got 4 runs. That means even if you push the ball for next 5 deliveries, that's going to give you 9 runs. So basic mathematics. Uses his feet. He's crumbled that to the long on. No fielder in position. He is giving some serious thrashing. What a shot. Got to the range. And boom. 12 of the over. An expensive over for Jatinder. Jammu 11 are off to a flyer in the first game. What a start they're having. They are having a shellacking start. 118 required of 16 overs. 4 overs completed. 36 on board. Harinder Pal Singh batting on 12 of 9. And Rakshit batting of 21 of 15 deliveries. Gets the inside edge. We get one. Too many looseners. The length deliveries hasn't been much long, but most of the deliveries in this power play have been in this slot. You can see. There you go. Creates room for himself. Now the batter's thoroughly seeing the ball very well. Some extra efforts are required to stop the high influx of runs. Slower delivery. The keeper's running behind. Will fall in no man's land. There's no protection. There's no backup. There's no backup for the keeper. They'll come back for the second one. There should have been a backup for the wicket keeper. They're throwing every run away. Change of pace again. Bowled more slower than the previous delivery. Changing his variation. They'll have to try everything. Jammu 11 haven't lost any wicket so far. Both the openers. The partnership's looking robust. Seven balls, ball and an over before the power play ends, and Jammu 11 sit at 41. Run rate at 8.48 and over. Has moved across again. Gives the right treatment for the ball, and this runs away for 4 more runs. Same shot, same direction. We've seen at least 3 shots played in that direction from Ravinder. Harinder, my apologies, was batting on 20 of 14 deliveries. 45. 5 overs completed. 9 of the over from Deep. 3 overs that is bowled. He's on 25. They are off to a flyer with the jetpack on their back. Power play is as the power play, it seems like, as a cheat code in San Andreas. And I used to play PlayStation. Similar to a cheat code that you have if you are a batter who knows how to squeeze and utilize your overs to target the bowler, then it's going to be pretty easy for you to find the gaps to fielders.
Thousands of Canadians like Glenn test our products for quality over and over and over again. So you know they're built to last. Only the best earn the badge.
Okay, this week's Sky Cricket podcast is being recorded on what should have been the last day of the Test series between England and West Indies. But as is the way of things with Bazball, they tend to get these things done and dusted pretty quickly. So I'm at home, Nas, as ever, in front of his bookshelf in Chelmsford. You rearrange them dutifully for every podcast, don't you, to make it look as though you're more intelligent than you really are and better read than you really are. You were on 100 duty during the Test match. It looks as though it's been a bit of an underwhelming start to that comp on the men's side of the tournament.
Yeah, I think underwhelming is the right word. I think we needed yesterday, definitely. The competition needed yesterday, needed a close game. That was a relatively close one at Lord's that I was doing, Birmingham Phoenix against the Spirit, but it needed a really good close game. The men's comp, that is, and we got that last night. Trent Rockets up at the Manchester Originals. The women's game, as ever, has been excellent. There have been close games. The standard has been excellent. And the standard of overseas has been superb. Some of the names that have come across and will now come across with the Asia Cup finishing off a couple of days ago with a magnificent win for Sri Lanka women. So the women's comp has been superb again. Men's comp, I think you sum it up pretty well with underwhelming. Hopefully that will improve with England players joining now and MLC finishing. What about the Test match? Another couple of days off for you. I mean, when Sky said, do you want Test match duty or 100 duty? You read it well. I mean, there's not much difference between them with the way that it's been played.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. It was a stunning end, and we'll come on to that. But it was the Blue for Bob Test match as well, of course, which you know well. You've been involved in a couple of those. And terrific just to remember our late friend. There was a good turnout. They raised a lot of money for a good cause. I think about 250,000 on that day. We had a nice dinner the night before where a couple of old mates turned up. Bumble was there. Towser, Andy Lloyd, former Warwickshire captain, who was a great mate of Bob's and who, of course, career was ended by that Malcolm Marshall bouncer in the 1984 series. He was there. Bob's family were there. So it was a very nice day. It's always brilliantly put on. And some of it sounds like a bit in-house, but I have to say some of the videos that we put out, there was one particularly good one, I thought, between Stuart Broad and James Anderson, where they went down to a bench where Bob lived near Putney and shared a glass of wine. Actually, it came on the back of a conversation I had a couple of winters ago. I bumped into both Stuart and Jimmy at the end of the New Zealand series, which was 2 winters ago now. And we were in the airport lounge waiting to fly home. They were having a glass of wine and they were talking about Bob and how they'd like to go and open a bottle of red or share a glass of red on a bench in that area in Barnes. So I said, well, that'd be a great idea. Why don't we film it? And in the end, it managed to find the day, and it was really nicely done by Stuart and beautifully put together by the lads in edit. So I thought that was a highlight for me of the coverage.
Absolutely. It was a brilliant. I watched it again this morning, actually. It was a brilliant bit of VT, really emotional.
It reflects a little bit on the links, doesn't it? I mean, I suppose the relationships between former players and broadcasters and the current players come and go a little bit, depending on how the team are doing. If the team are doing badly, criticism comes. There's no way around it. And that can strain relationships for a while. If things are going okay, as they are at the moment, things are a little better. But they were talking about how they had misread Bob because of his, performances on The Verdict from time to time when he when he would get the chainsaw out and really rip into people, and how nice it was when they got to know him that, they realized he was a warmer, gentler guy than perhaps they'd imagined, but also just how things don't change, really. I mean, things do change, obviously, but the same stresses and strains that players of every generation go through, they don't change.
No, but that's what I like about Blue for Bob Week, really, is that you remember the funnies and you remember the bloke, and Benedict has on his laptop all those moments and all his great quotes from the verdict. And then the cricketer as well, on that bit of footage, you saw Bob running down the hill at Headingley and bowling Australia out. You see, Wardy in the dressing room and Joe Root doing his Bob impersonation and Bob reacting to that. It's the stories behind the scenes that we sit there in the green room. I mean, there was that time I left Bob behind, wasn't there? I can't remember which test it was, Leeds or Manchester.
And it's absolutely unrepeatable what he called you, I have to say.
Absolutely. We would never do another podcast or be on telly again if we say what Bob called me that morning. But that's what I like about weeks like that. It is about a good cause, a great cause, and raising money, but it's remembering a great cricketer and a good friend as well. And what about the test match? What did you make of the
I was going to say he would have loved the end to that test match because, of course, just not quite the end because that was Ben Stokes, but the bit before that, just after lunch, when Mark Wood bowled that spell, 6 overs, 5 for 9. Bob would have loved that. Great fast bowler, running in. Crowd, you know what it's like at Edgbaston. You remember it well when they were roaring your...
You got to be a good player to score runs there. Yeah, definitely.
So they roared Mark Wood on, and it actually started curiously with a 6 that Mikhail Louis hit. He planted Shoaib Bashir for 6, played well actually, maiden test half century. Unbeknownst to him, it landed on the concourse and roughed up one side, and for once England were not for changing the ball, and suddenly it started to reverse like crazy, and at 90 miles an hour plus, when the ball is swinging late, that is very difficult to contend with.
And how do you assess the victory and what lies ahead? We've both said that this series is about winning what's in front of you, which you've always got to do at cricket, especially when they did stand bottom of the table. They've moved up that now quite a bit, but bottom of those World Test Championship rankings, but also looking to the future and winning away from home. We did the stats on sides struggling to win away from home and winning in Australia. So it wasn't for me winning. I think with any England side that they could have picked, if they'd stuck with Anderson, Broad, whatever, Ollie Robinson, I think they'd have beaten West Indies. But it was the style and manner, watching Wood reverse swing it at 90 mile an hour, watching Atkinson bowl, watching Bashir bowl at Trent Bridge, watching Jamie Smith bat and keep. It was the sort of manner and the style that was almost more important. For once, I'm very much for winning. Yeah. But for me, the way they won and the style and type of win. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think they had to do both. They hadn't won a series since Pakistan in the December 2 winters ago. They'd drawn in New Zealand after that. Then they didn't beat Australia, although a great series in the Ashes, and then lost to India. So winning is important. I mean, it's a habit, and you get used to it. And supporters want to see England win. Let's be honest about it. But also, I think half an eye on the future. Ian Chappell's written a piece on Cricinfo today talking about how, they have to have half an eye on what's coming. And you sense just in the bowling attack in particular, the way that Atkinson and Wood combine, Bashir's choice over Leach, you sense that they've got half an eye on that. So Atkinson was the player of the series, 22 wickets. He didn't quite pass Alec Bedser. That was the record for a debutant in a 3-match series, or record in a 3-match series for England. But he did I thought he looked like he had the goods for. I mean, you always have to look at West Indies and say they weren't the strongest West Indies team and put that in context. But if you look at what Atkinson provided, pace, reverse swing, certainly on that last day, an ability to hustle and ruffle batsmen, ability to seam it in English conditions as he did at Lord's, you're looking at somebody who seems to have pretty much the complete package there that you hope then will stand him in good stead against stronger opposition.
Ambition is on the inside. You can't see it. So that thing you love, keep doing it.
Yeah, and the two things he needs to add to that is staying fit, obviously, as a fast bowler. He looks like he has an action that is, repeatable, and hopefully that will look after his body and he'll look after his body. But I also quite like his character. I like the way, and I don't know the lad particularly well, and we interview him occasionally, but he seems quite calm. Even when he's taking a wicket, he's not overreacting, or if he's bowled a bad ball, he's not overreacting. I saw him take a wicket and it was just that look in his eye, almost like the West Indians used to have with us. There wasn't any sledging or whatever, Ambrose, Walsh. I quite like his character of, this is what I do. I bowl fast and I get wickets. And even if I'm doing it for England in front of a full house, I'm not going to overreact, and basically this is what I do. So what about the chat?
He's not a man of many words, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, or emotions, which I quite like.
Next time you do the presentation, you need a few questions up your sleeve because he gives you short answers.
But I quite like the way he takes emotion out of it, which is important in international sport as well. What about the fact that some would argue they didn't blood, other young players, and they stuck with Woakes, and wouldn't Woakes again? Was that a missed opportunity? At the start of the test, if you went on social media, it was like, we've left out Anderson, and Anderson's retired. We missed an opportunity here to look at Pennington or others. What do you think to that?
Well, Woakes got better in the series, and he is a different role from Anderson. I don't think they're exactly like for like, are they? Because when you're looking to pick a team, you're looking to balance a team. And Woakes bats at 8 and offers a vital contribution. He got 60 odd in that first innings at Edgbaston when England were actually up against it a little bit. So it's not a direct comparison. Most people thought Mark Wood might have been rested because of the nature of back-to-back tests and his fragility and the need to wrap him in cotton wool and all that. But I'm very glad that they didn't, because what he gave us in that game was just thrilling cricket. And I think for supporters who are paying their money to come and watch, they will have gone away from that day watching Wood just after lunch and then watching Stokes go past Beefy's record and carve the fastest 50 for an England player. Although it was only a half a day's play, they will have gone away thinking, yeah, we came, we had a good day and got value for money.
And Woakes, where are you with Chris Woakes? Because he is a superb cricketer in England. That he's not done anything in the last 3 games that we're thinking, that wow, because we just know Chris Woakes, he was player of the series in the Ashes, away from home and in Australia. His record isn't great. So what should they do with Woakes? Do you see Woakes as a definite starter in Australia?
No, I don't see him as a definite starter at all. I think he's a pick for right now, because obviously they have to try and balance what you were talking about at the start, which is both winning and creating something for down the line. They got to win now, and he's there at number 8, and obviously an excellent bowler in English conditions. But I think that may well be a very different scenario when they get to Australia or Pakistan this winter, for the obvious reasons that you stated, that his record is far superior at home than abroad. So certainly wouldn't write a player of his quality off, but I also don't think it's a given that he will play a Test cricket abroad. I mean, he himself seemed to almost a year or 18 months ago kind of seemed to suggest that he thought that was the case. But players get a second wind, don't they? That things change. In the absence of Anderson, they may feel that they need a steadier type, and they may feel that there's nobody better at number 8 to balance, to link the bowlers and the batters. So all that's ahead of us.
He himself stated, before this series, that he could learn from Anderson and Broad, and how at this age, his age, they improved and learned and were always learning new tricks. And he sort of intimated that he was at a phase now that he wants to learn how to be a better bowler away from home and learn new tricks. So, and I think you're right. It's something I've thought about. If you look at previous Ashes tours, we talk about the batting and the bowling, but also the way our tail-enders just get completely blown away by Mitchell Johnson or Mitchell Starc or whoever come in, just bomb them with bouncer after bouncer. And Stokes and McCullum may not worry about it, but that number 8 position, you need someone who bats. Otherwise, you're going straight from possibly Jamie Smith to 4 bowlers. So I think that's something they need to keep an eye on for the future.
Just 2 more things to touch on, I think. One was the, I suppose, slight refinement of Bazball, a slightly more measured approach. England was scoring quickly, 400 at Trent Bridge and rattling along at Edgbaston, but it didn't seem to me to be slightly the manic kind of approach that they'd had previously. And I think Stokes and McCullum referenced that. Both of them. McCullum talked about a slightly more mature approach. Stokes talked about it being less one-dimensional. So I think that was obviously that was obviously something to come out of the series. And then the second bit was just the one negative from that final day was the fractured finger to Zach Crawley. But 3 weeks before the Sri Lanka series, will he be fit? Where will England look? If he's not, it's the one area, I suppose, the opening batters area where they're not actually blessed with obvious alternatives. There are many alternatives, of course, but it's not obvious where England will turn.
No, it's one subject I'm an expert on this pod is broken digit. If it's
he went
just
off with fewer histrionics than you did, I have to say.
3 weeks it should be okay if it's not a displaced fracture. If it's a displaced fracture, that may be a bit longer because then the doctors start to worry and the physio starts to worry. If you take a blow on that, then you could be out for a long period. If it's just a hairline fracture, 3 weeks, Crawley's a bit tougher than Hussein as well. He may, don't give a sucker an even chance. Don't let anyone in your position. So he'll probably want to. But the options, you know who I've liked recently and last few years, Keaton Jennings. I like he's not a blocker. He puts bat to ball. I know when he first played, he looked a bit robotic, a bit mechanical, bowling machine driven, and likes of Philander and whatever targeted that pad and just outside off stump. But he's been prolific actually playing for Lancashire, and he's got a lot of runs when Stokes has played against him. Yeah. I've seen a few games where Stokes has been in the opposition.
The management of the type that when they've moved on from a player, they've moved on. No. I'm thinking of Alex Lees, actually, who was there at the start of Bazball, was one of the earlier players to kind of be moved on. Do you think a player like that can come again?
No, I'm not sure about this management. They're pretty... And what I like about this management, and I tell you what makes them a successful side, is their stubbornness. I really like the fact that there's a real craving out there for Ben Foakes. We know everyone loves Ben Foakes' keeping. Sorry, we've seen this other lad and the way he bats. We're moving on from that. You know what? Jimmy Anderson is the greatest bowler we have ever had, and we could go down the emotions of letting Jimmy play at Old Trafford and letting him play all summer. Nope, sorry. We're going to move on from that. You know, Crawley, we're going to back him if he keeps nicking off outside off stuff. I love we're not listening to the paper chat. We're not listening to the Hussein Atherton podcast. We are this is what we believe, and we're going to stick with that. That is their best attribute. Do not do things because other people say you should. Just have your gut feel. So I think I'd be surprised if they went back. They may, Dan Lawrence is the next batter, but opening the batting is a position that, although they moved Duckett up to open, I know he'd done a bit with Knotts and he's done pretty well. So I don't know. You'd hope Crawley would be fit because he's the best person to do it.
Well, you said they don't listen to the podcast, but secretly we reckon they do. Everybody does. And it's time now to move away from the Test match and turn our attentions to the 100 and the women's game. Well, I'm delighted to say that this week's guest is Sophia Dunkley. Many reasons for getting Sophia on. She's in good form, good start to the 100, back in the England fold, but most importantly, is the biggest fan of this podcast. We had Kate Cross up with us, severe at Trent Bridge, and she said that you're the one amongst the women's team. You're the one who listens. You download the podcast on a weekly basis. Explain yourself.
She's not wrong, to be fair. I'm definitely an avid listener. I think, to be honest, I'm a secret badger, to be honest. I just love hearing the conversation, just love hearing the chats. But I'm not going to lie, there's a few in the England team. We've got Heather definitely tunes in every now and then. Danny Wyatt definitely is a listener. Tash Barrett's a big fan. So, I mean, they're not doing too bad.
That's fantastic. We kind of take the mickey out of ourselves that we have so few listeners. We have one in the British Virgin Islands, but it's good to know that there's a few in the women's team as well. You mentioned Danny Wyatt there. I've got to ask you about the hen do. When was it? About a week ago, was it, in Leeds? You've all recovered.
We literally finished the New Zealand series at Lords on the 17th, and then we had a small window in between the end of the series and the 100, so everyone shot up to Leeds for a night, which is great. As Danny, she had two requests, one that was in Leeds and one that we dressed as cowgirls, and then the rest was kind of down to me and the other bridesmaids. So yeah, take from that what you will.
The rest is a haze and eminently forgotten, no doubt. I'm about to. My daughter wants to go up to Leeds University in September, and I've kind of been wandering around Leeds on Saturday nights during various test matches, thinking, "Oh my god!"
I know, it's pretty crazy up there. Great fun though. I'd recommend.
So you've had a terrific start to the 100. It's been an up and down period for you, really. You had an iffy winter with the national team, left out of the Pakistan series, but back in the setup against New Zealand, and a good start with the Welsh Fire in the 100. Coping with failure and the ups and downs of a sporting life is something we all have to go through. What are the learnings you've taken from it, and how have you managed to cope with these inevitable hurdles that everybody has to kind of cope with?
Yeah, it's definitely been a tricky, I'd say 9 months, to be honest. Even about a year, really, because we had the Ashes last year, and I really underperformed in that, and it was really tough. I think it was the first time that I felt the women's game was under a massive spotlight, and I felt like the whole world was watching. And since I played for England, I hadn't really felt that, really. So it was pretty hard going. But I've made a kind of big technical change just after the Ashes series, and it's taken a while for it to, I guess, bed in and to feel normal and kind of sync with all the other kind of bits of my body and my stance and stuff. So yeah, it's now I'm kind of starting to see the rewards a bit. I don't want to speak too soon because, cricket's a cruel game and it gets you all the time, but starting to kind of see it come through now, which is really pleasing, because there are times when you go through these things and you think there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but yeah, it's nice to kind of start to see those rewards in a minute.
Sophia, before we get on to the technical side, what about the mental side? You described yourself as a cricket badger. Are you also a worrier? Are you someone that gets down on yourself? Every time I see you, you've got a smile on your face. So when you were going through those quiet periods, those difficult times, was it all encompassing? And also, Michael's often spoken about having something outside the game, something to take your focus away from just cricket. Do you have that as well?
Yeah, it was definitely took a toll mentally. And I think, definitely after the Ashes, we go straight into the 100 again, and it was pretty tough to come back in, because I knew that I was under a lot of eyes, and I didn't feel like I was performing the best that I could. So that was pretty tough. And yeah, it took a while to kind of get out of that space. But I've definitely worked a lot on the mental side of the game, for sure. One in the kind of aspect of how I kind of deal with failure, how I want to play cricket, and how I kind of shake things off a bit quicker. And to mainly in kind of my approach, especially in T20 cricket, I was kind of a batter that people expected me to go in, get the team up to a flying start. And I kind of, irrespective of conditions, I kind of wanted to bat in the same way. And I've kind of obviously learned now that that's not the best way to go about it. I've got to really take into account my conditions, my opponents, and play a lot smarter. But obviously I have the ability to be really aggressive at the top of the order, but I've kind of changed the way that I go about that now a little bit.
And apart from Hindus, what takes your mind off the game of cricket so that you can put cricket in a bit of perspective?
Yeah, well, I've got an amazing support network around me. Like my mum's dealing with my whole cricketing journey, from taking me to Middlesex under 11s and all the way through driving around the country. And she's really good at giving me perspective, which is great. So when I go home, go take the dogs for a walk and just get away and spend time with family, and got a great group of friends as well, which is, yeah, really nice for me to have that social group. And yeah, it's good that when they don't really know much about cricket, they're not really worried about whether I've got runs or anything there. They're just proud of whatever I do, which is really nice. So yeah, I say on the social side, and I've also got a new camera as well, actually. So I'm enjoying taking a few pictures when I'm out and about, which has been great.
And those technical changes, it's something to do with your back leg, isn't it? You felt your back leg was collapsing. You weren't staying tall enough at the crease. You weren't maybe targeting opening up that offside because of it. Just explain those technical changes.
Yeah, so that was one of the things. It kind of started in October last year, and I first kind of changed a little bit to my grip. So obviously I've got a bit of a split grip, which is quite evident. But I don't think that will probably ever change, because that's just kind of naturally how I play cricket. But I was lucky enough to go to India with England for a batting camp, and I worked with Abhishek Nair from KKR, and he was really good at helping me change my grip and my swap hand. So there's been a slight technical change there. He kind of drew like lines down the back of my bat and on my like left glove. So if you ever watch me bat in the 100 or anything, you might see me kind of line up my hand and look at it before I look. And I don't think I need the lines anymore, but it's kind of become a little bit of a habit. So that basically kind of started off the change. But I think that had a knock-on effect to the rest of my kind of body, really, when I played. So a change in my grip meant my hands went a little bit towards like third slip. So my alignment was a little bit off, and that. So I had to kind of rectify that a little bit. And then, like you said, my back leg. So when I kind of tried to hit the ball quite hard, I could kind of collapse a little bit and I lost a little power. So I'm trying to keep that a little bit stronger, just to kind of make the most of the power that I've got, I guess. And it's nice to see that kind of starting to come through in some of the games that I've played.
Something I've wanted to ask, actually, because players move from franchise to franchise now, and then you're with national teams and various other domestic teams, and therefore different voices must come your way from a coaching and help perspective. How do you kind of marry all those different voices together and the different bits of advice and coaching you'll get, and work out really what works for you, and not getting confused, I suppose, is the danger if there are too many voices and too many changes all at once?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think definitely last winter, something I did struggle with a little bit, because I was making a few changes and I wasn't really quite sure where I sat with it all, and it was just a little bit different. But I think now we've got Alex Gidman, who's our batting coach at England, and I work really, really well with him. He's been amazing so far, and a great support over the last few weeks. And I think I kind of use him as my first port of call, really. And even when he's away or we're not together, I kind of send him a few videos of what I'm doing and just like to kind of check back in on him. And I feel in a much better place myself, kind of knowing what I need to do and what my kind of technique looks like at the minute. So I think I kind of had to go through a patch of not really being sure and not understanding, to now feeling quite assured in myself. So if I do go abroad or play in other franchise teams, I kind of filter out what I need to and kind of stay strong to what I believe is right for me, I guess.
There seems to be fewer problems in the women's side of the 100 in terms of players coming and going. I mean, it's been a fairly underwhelming start in the men's comp. You've played a couple of games. I think you're 1-1, lost one, haven't you, at the moment? And you've been in good form yourself, but there seems to be less of a squeeze on player availability in the women's 100. Would that be a fair comment?
Yeah, I think so. A couple of teams have got, because of the Asia Cup going on, different overseas for the first 3 games and 2 teams. But yeah, pretty consistent across the whole thing. Yeah.
One of those, you mentioned the Asia Cup there. That was some story, wasn't it? Chamari Atapattu and that Sri Lankan side. I know they beat you in T20s at the end of last year, but they look like a country, a side that are going in the right direction, and luckily not in your group in the World T20.
I know, definitely. I think it's just so exciting with the women's game at the moment that, you see so many teams kind of beating each other, and the competition is just, going through the roof at the minute. And Shamari is just an outstanding player. She has been for years, and she's always someone when she comes out to bat, you're thinking, oh no, what's going to happen today? So yeah, it's just great to see them doing well, and just to see the kind of the gap between all teams kind of getting closer and closer, which is exciting.
Drinking warm water before bed balances blood sugar levels and reverses type 2. Thousands of people are apparently regaining water before bed. If you're type 2 or pre-diabetic, struggling to lose weight, stressing over constant monitoring, or
stride, gets the outer part of the bat and a soft dismissal.
just sick of feeling tired all the
at
time,
the catching
then
point.
pay close attention. Because while most doctors continue to blame high sugar levels on poor eating habits or
Just people
family history,
required of
Scient-
8.2 deliveries, 8.2 overs.
Six 9479225554 ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਟਰੈਵਲ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਮੋਰਗੇਜ, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਟਰੈਵਲ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਮੋਰਗੇਜ, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554 ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, ਮੋਰਗੇਜ, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ योर लाइफ विद कमलदीप कौर। जी हाँ, कमलदीप कौर जो डील करते ने लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, सुपर वीजा इंश्योरेंस, डिसेबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ योर लाइफ विद कमलदीप कौर। जी हाँ, कमलदीप कौर जो डील करते ने लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, सुपर वीजा इंश्योरेंस, डिसेबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ योर लाइफ विद कमलदीप कौर। जी हाँ, कमलदीप कौर जो डील करते ने लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, सुपर वीजा इंश्योरेंस, डिसेबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ योर लाइफ विद कमलदीप कौर। जी हाँ, कमलदीप कौर जो डील करते ने लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, सुपर वीजा इंश्योरेंस, डिसेबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ योर लाइफ विद कमलदीप कौर। जी हाँ, कमलदीप कौर जो डील करते ने लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, सुपर वीजा इंश्योरेंस, डिसेबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ योर लाइफ विद कमलदीप कौर। जी हाँ, कमलदीप कौर जो डील करते ने लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, सुपर वीजा इंश्योरेंस, डिसेबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, डिसेबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, डिसेबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, डिसेबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, डिसेबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, डिसेबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RRSP ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ www.kamalinsurance.ca। ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ 6479225554। ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਅਨਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰ ਯੋਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿਦ ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਕਮਲਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ ਜੋ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ਡਿਸੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ, ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, मोर्गेज, RR